Is Darius on this call?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess we can start off, Nick.
Yep, you guys are all set.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our second attempt at a Zoom town board meeting. Before we start, I would like you all to join in the Pledge of Allegiance. Behind me, you'll see a flag. You don't have to stand up, but I would appreciate you joining me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag of the United States of America
and to the
and to the
republic
republic
which
for
stands
which it
Which
stands,
stands
one nation, under God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty
liberty,
and
and
justice
justice for all.
for all.
Thank you. The county executive is going to join us this evening. I'm not sure if he's
Mr.
with us. yet.
Supervisor, he is on right now.
He is. We have with us the Honorable County Executive George Latimer, who would like to give us a little update on the COVID-19 virus that we're all dealing with.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I appreciate it. Members of the council, it's a pleasure to be with you, at least by phone. And Carl, I'll try to make this as quick as I can. And then if you have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them. We're all working at the town, the local levels, county levels, without a roadmap on this. We've seen nothing like this in our past experience. So we're trying to figure out what to do step by step as we go along. I should, point out that we have 3 times a week a conference call with municipal officials, and generally either the supervisor or his designee is online, and we try to give updates about what's happening. Ellen Hendricks, who is on the line, is our Assistant Director of Intergovernmental Relations, and she's available as well, just to try to keep people posted on all the different things that are happening. As it stands now, we have slightly over 20,000 people in the county that have been identified positive with coronavirus. The good news is that 10,000 of those people have already been identified over the prior 2 weeks. So since the virus goes through your system in about 2 weeks, if you survive 2 weeks, you are considered virus-free, not so much that you don't have the virus, but that you're not going to be sickened by it. Your immune system has defended your body on it. So we judge that we've got 10,000 or thereabouts active cases right now, even though we have 20,000 that have tested positive. And the good news, if there is any, is that over the last 5 or 6 days, that number really has been dropping a little bit down. We're about 11,000, now down about 10,000. We think that's a sign of this flattening of the curve, which we've heard a lot about, on television and so forth. Also, right now, we have slightly under 1,200 people hospitalized for COVID in the county, and that number has stayed relatively static over the last, again, week, maybe slightly more than a week. And at 1,200, the good news there is that we've got 3,000 hospital rooms in Westchester County. What we saw in Italy, when Italy went through the terrible tragedy a little over a month ago, is that they had more patients getting sick all at once, and it overloaded the system, the hospital system, and they didn't have enough beds for people. At 3,000 plus beds in Westchester, and 1,200 people hospitalized, we're managing the number pretty well. Now, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But that number is also flattened, and we think that, quote unquote, is a good sign. Now, what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, if the trends continue, if we continue to drop, even though there's more people testing positive, if they're not getting sick, then we're weathering our way through this. Probably the most important thing to keep in mind, we've lost almost 600 people in Westchester County, 596. But when you do the math, this is really affecting people that are older. 64% of the people who have died from COVID were 70 years of age or older. And then if you go down to 60, that gets me into the club, but 60 and older, 84% of the fatalities, 60 years or older.
Wow.
On the other side of the spectrum, if you go from age 50 and younger, it's less than 10% of all the fatalities. So pretty clearly, the people that are getting the disease that are younger and healthier, and for that matter, older and healthier, they're able to fight it off. Those folks who, have other issues, when they get this disease, then it becomes a problem for them. And that portion of folks do succumb to the disease. We've had a little under 40% of the fatalities from people who live in nursing homes or assisted living facilities. And that's a pretty high number for all the fatalities. But it's logical that when people reach a certain age, and if they're ill and they're living in a nursing home for a reason, that once exposed to this disease, it becomes a problem. So what we're hopeful is that the social distancing that we're doing, the efforts we're making as we shut the society down, which we're doing at a terrible economic toll. No one can deny that the impact to individuals is devastating, to business people are devastating, governments are devastated. I'm sure the town budget, certainly the county budget, is negatively impacted badly by this. But the hope is that we can weather the storm over a reasonable amount of time. And then, the thing we're all waiting for is we're waiting for a vaccine, and we're waiting for an antiviral drug that can effectively fight the disease when you have it. And when science can deliver those things to us, then we can breathe easy. But until then, we're using what tools we have, which is testing, isolation, washing our hands, trying not to spread the disease, and doing the best we can. Mount Pleasant, as of today, and these numbers are a little lag, we try to share them with the supervisor every day, and I'm sure he shares it with all of you. As of today, the unincorporated portion of the town has 288 cases of positives. Pleasantville Village has 61 cases. Sleepy Hollow has 179 cases. And I've never been able to get a breakdown on Briarcliff Manor, how much falls within your town and how much falls within the town of Ossining. But if there is any good news in these numbers, in the unincorporated part of Mount Pleasant, the hamlets, Valhalla, Hawthorne, Thornwood, Mechanical Hills, and so forth, of your 288 cases, 80 of them were 2 weeks ago identified as a positive. So those 80 people have, weathered the storm, and the active number of cases in the town is less than the number that's on those maps that we send to Carl on a regular basis. And we're hopeful that over time, we'll have less new cases. We'll have more people go through the 2-week process and come through it on the other side. And that's how we'll see this thing start to recede. But I'm no scientist. I'm no medical guy. We're just, we're following what we hear, what we read, and we're trying to make intelligent decisions as we go along. The county has turned over the county center to the state health department to run as backup hospital beds. If you were to walk inside of it, you would see that they're building actual rooms, solid, sheetrock walls and ceiling on the same place where we had basketball played a month ago, to try to make sure that we have enough beds to handle what's happening out there. If we have 1,200 people hospitalized, if that number grows but does not exceed 3,000, then we're covered, and we have extra beds in the medical center, in the county center to handle it. On our testing, you obviously have the testing right in your backyard at the Westchester Medical Center. We turned over, almost a month ago, Glen Island to the state, and they put up the first drive-through testing in the state. We tested more people there because, in general, Westchester per capita has tested more people than any other place in the state. We've tested 60,000 people, and 1 out of every 3 is positive. 2 out of every 3 test negative, which we think is a good sign, and it's a better number than Nassau and Suffolk and New York City. So even though we jumped out first with a high number, mostly because of that New Rochelle cohort in the beginning of this, we are in much better shape proportionally to other places. The bad news is the number of deaths, 596 so far. As I've indicated, people of a certain age, 70 and over, are the ones that are most affected. 64% of the deaths are 70 and over, 84% 60 and over, and under 50, less than 10% of the deaths. So that is a factor that we're looking at. We have our Valhalla-based emergency services operation being responsible for taking orders for hand sanitizer and personal protective equipment, PPEs, gloves, masks, shields, gowns. And John Cullen over there orders through the state. The state delivers it there to Valhalla, then we redistribute it through the towns to each of the different people that they've asked for. Our county health department nurses are out there doing in-home testing with the state nurses. They're also providing some of the detective work to help people who are positive get the information they need to track down other people that might have been affected. That's a long, drawn-out process as well. Our economic development team, Bridget Gibbons is heading it, is working on a plan with quite a large number of volunteers to help us help the local businesses that are impacted by this, and we know they are. Individuals are unemployed and local business people are devastated by closing their doors. But there are some federal programs through the Small Business Administration. They have one that's economic injury distress loans. There's another one called the Paycheck Protection Plan. And to file these forms, a local business may say, I don't know how to do this. It's complicated. So we're going to have some volunteers through our train to help them do that. I suspect we'll work through the local chambers of commerce, although we can work through the town as well if you'd like to be more directly involved in that. Bridget Gibbons is responsible for that. We have an arrangement through our tourism office to work with some of the area hotels to provide some free rooms for nurses and doctors and medical people, the medical center, Phelps, other places, so that when they finish their shift, instead of going home, they're afraid of infecting their family members, that they can go sleep in a hotel, shower the next morning, get up, go back to work. The Comfort Inn on 9A is one of the ones that are participating. We have further up north, the Holiday Inn in Mount Kisco is matching up with Northern Westchester Hospital. We have Tarrytown Doubletree. The Doubletree in Tarrytown is matching up with Phelps over in Sleepy Hollow, and the medical center itself, Cambria, is working with them. The Comfort Inn is working with them. We hope that helps a lot too. The Beeline bus system has been modified. What routes you have that go through the town or any of the villages within the town. We have tried to protect our drivers, because drivers get ill, then we can't run the buses. So we've cordoned off the drivers in the front of the bus, and so you're not paying a fare. You're walking in the back and exiting the back, and it's a free system for now. So it's a hit to our finances, but it's a way to keep the system going. There's a big drop of ridership because a lot of the people that use the routes now don't use it to go to work, since a lot of they're either laid off or the doors have been closed of their businesses. But it is a free system, and we've reduced the bus service on major routes because of the drop in attendance, and that's the way we've adjusted on the Beeline bus system. We have kept our county parks open, and that is primarily the parks that are open in the wintertime. At this point, we're not planning to open the county pools, the county beaches, or Playland Amusement Park, and we're not counting on doing the ethnic festivals at Kensico until we know whether we've cleared this virus or not. You can socially distance at a hiking trail. You can socially distance on the Bronx River Reservation if you're taking that route, walking or taking a bicycle up and down North County Trailway, South County Trailway. But you can't distance at those ethnic festivals at Kensico Dam. You can't distance in a public pool. You can't distance at Playland. So at this point, we're not yet prepared to open those facilities, and we may not open them. We may open them late. It just depends on what happens. We're watching. I know you've got a lovely pool over there in the town as well. We're just watching to see what happens and determining if the health department officials think we can do it, or if we can't do it, then we can't. I'm going to stop at this point because I know you've got other business to do tonight. I'm talking as fast as any New Yorker can talk to try to get it all in. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them. If you think of one later, you can certainly give us a call. We're working with Margaret Kunzio very closely and taking her counsel on some issues. And we just want to be a good partner to Mount Pleasant. We want to try to be there to work through these things with you.
Hello, Mr. Latimer. It's Laura Smalley, and I would be very remiss if I did not bring a question to you or a comment. Since I live in Valhalla and it's directly impacted by the Kensico Dam Plaza Park and the road on top of the dam, I cannot tell you how many individuals have either reached out by telephone, by fax, by walking up to my front door and knocking on it and saying, why is the Kensico Dam Park still open? And who can control what goes on the top of the dam? If you come to this neighborhood, you will see cars parked all over North Kensico Avenue and people going to the top of the dam and walking down the stairway as if it were a party. I also understand that there's going to be New York Medical College is doing a PPE drive at the Kensico Dam this Saturday. I'm not really sure if advertising that or bringing more people to that dam park is such a great idea. Do you care to comment on that, please?
Well, we've kept the Kensico Dam Plaza open as a place for people to walk and exercise. We have had county police and parks department officials there monitoring it. There have been incidences where there have been a large number of people there in close quarters, but we've responded every time there's been a complaint, and the police department has, made people break up where there was some concentration. But Lori, to be honest with you, we have not seen it as a constant concern. If you and the town board feel that we should close the park, by all means, send us a letter advocating that. And if you think that's what we should do, then we'll take that into consideration. But to this point, it has not been a consistent every hour of the day. I've stopped by there most weekends at different times of the day. And at different times of the day, I've seen people there, quite a bit of people there, but not within that 6 feet, hanging out, having a party. We don't see, touch football games, volleyball games going on. So as many people as are concerned about it, if you as a member of the town board think we should close the park, then by all means, recommend that publicly, and we'll take that into account. And if that's what you feel we should do, maybe that's what we should do.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I will speak to the people who have been coming to me, especially there's a neighborhood called Lakeside Drive. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, George. On that note, my personal feelings are we've taken so much away from our residents, not only in the town of Mount Pleasant, but throughout our country. I'd be very hesitant to take away the rights of being outside. That's my own personal opinion.
Well, I appreciate that. And as I said, if the board wants to discuss it as a group, you're the folks that know the area better than I do. You're there all the time. If you have a recommendation for us, we'll certainly take it to heart. We appreciate your opinion. And if there is a debate to be had and you have it, let us know how you feel at the end of the day. And, we'll go from there. I'll certainly, do whatever we think is the best possible strategy.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions for the county exec? George, we appreciate you coming on and giving us an update.
Carl, thanks very much, and appreciate the cooperative work. We'll talk to you in tomorrow's call, and we wish you all a very safe evening, and thank you for the opportunity to say hello.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good night, all.
Thank you very
Good night.
much. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Moving on to our agenda, the first thing we have on our agenda tonight is bids and awards. This is the authorization to award the bid for the pool cover to Bell Aqua Pool Supply at purchase order 70-20-26. The total cost for that cover, and this was the low bidder, was $24,110. So I would ask for a motion to approve that purchase.
Move for approval, please.
Motion
I'll second it.
by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to public hearings. As you know, the last meeting we had announced there's 2 items on there as far as public hearings. We left them open. We did not make any motion on that. We had left it open in case people wanted to make any comments on both of these. We have received no comments, but I would just give you a little review of exactly what we were talking about. The first one was continuation of a public hearing to annex 14 Sunset Drive into the town of Mount Pleasant Sewer District. This is a request from the Kirkwood family to allow them to tie into the Mount Pleasant Sewer District. Like I said, we've had no comments for or against this. This does go into a permissive referendum, I believe. So if we approve this tonight, after 30 days, it will go into effect. Is that correct, Town Attorney?
I think he's muted, but yes, that's what he said the last
Darius is
meeting.
on.
Yep, that's correct, Mr.
Okay.
Supervisor.
All right, moving on to Resolution 164-20. If I get a motion to move forward on this?
Carl, let's take a motion to, the public hearing was still open, I think. Let's take a motion to close the public hearing, then a motion to approve.
Yes.
Sorry.
Motion to close the public hearing.
I so move.
Who was that?
Gary.
Jerry?
Sorry,
Motion
one
by
second,
Mr.
Mr. Supervisor. Do you want an opportunity for public comment?
We have
Yes.
left it open for 2 weeks for public comment, but we can.
It's up to you. If you want, I can cue everybody if they want to speak.
Yeah, I guess if anybody would like to make a comment regarding this public hearing, they're welcome to do so.
All right, so to the public, anyone wishing to make a public comment on this particular issue, either use the raise your hand feature or comment in the chat box with your name and address. You must have enabled video in order to make a comment.
I assume there's no comments, Mr. DiPaolo?
No comments.
Being that there's no comments, I would make a motion, I would follow Mr. Showman's lead in making the motion to close the public hearing, and I need a second.
I'll
Second.
second that motion.
Mr. Saliano would second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. As far as approving resolution 164-20, I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
Second.
second by Mr. Showman, I believe, on that one.
Sorry,
All in
Daniel.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item was, again, the continuation of a public hearing to amend Town Ordinance 206-39, Schedule 15, permit parking only, parking prohibited certain hours, Broad Street. This authorization is being requested to clarify this town ordinance amendment that was passed at the February 25th Town Board meeting to clarify the original request from Traffic and Safety and the Police Department was to make both sides of Memorial Drive to Brighton Avenue no parking. However, after public input and Police Department and Town Board review, the decision was made to only make the south side no parking. Since this was an amendment, this means that the current restrictions of the no parking on the north side of Broad Street from Memorial Drive west for 110 feet will remain in effect. This part of the ordinance was originally put into place to ensure there is an unobstructed view of the crosswalk. And anyone wish to make a comment on this before we close it is welcome to do so.
Yeah, and the same, I would just ask anybody that wants to please either chat your name and address into the right-hand chat column or to use the raise your hand feature and I will enable your video. We do have someone asking to speak on this issue. So just give me 1 second. Okay, Mr. Noonan, you are on.
Hello, no, I wanted to speak at the comments from the floor section of the meeting.
Understood. We'll queue you up then. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Supervisor, I don't have anybody else for this.
Be there no further speakers, I would entertain a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Showman,
Second.
second by Ms. Zano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 165-20. I would ask for a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Smalley, second by Mr. Saliano, I believe.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the supervisor's report. First item is to call for a public hearing to amend zoning text of the Town of Mount Pleasant Code to permit child care centers in the CGC General Commercial Zoning District. The public hearing date would be April 28th.
Yes, that's good.
Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.
Motion to call for a public hearing.
I so move.
Motion by Mr. Schulman,
Second.
Second.
second by Ms. Zano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is authorization for the town supervisor to sign the amendment and extension of lease for 407 Elwood Avenue. This is the former Hawthorne train station building. As you know, a lot of renovations were done to that building. The town attorney worked with the owners of the building, and we came up with I think, Darius, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was a 10-year with 2 5-year renewals.
I believe that's correct, yes.
And the rent increases, I believe, is at 4% a year.
Correct.
So I would need a motion and a second to approve to allow me to sign the amendment to this lease.
Move for
Like-
approval?
Motion by Ms. Zano,
I'll second that, Mr. Supervisor.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the investment report. Interest rate at this point is 1.70%. Next item, Mr. DePaul, we're going into business from the floor.
Okay, so at this time, I know Mr. Noonan, I'm going to enable your video. Please accept that. Okay, and you're on, Mr. Noonan.
Okay, thank you. My question I have is regarding that lease that you just amended. There was absolutely no backup information on the agenda regarding this lease. I don't know why that is, but could you please tell us the more details about the lease, how much they're paying in rent per month? And
I don't have the copy of the lease with me. The lease is public information. It would.
Carl, I have it in front of me if you want me to sort of
All right.
try to answer some of these questions.
ahead.
The annual rent, it doesn't change too much, is $25,000 a year starting as of April 1st, payable in equal monthly installments of approximately $2,134 a month. And then it'll increase by 4% during the option periods beginning in 2030. And the rent in that year will be $39,000, and it'll go up to as high as $56,000 by the time it's over.
are you saying that that's based on the escalation of 4% per year
From 2030 on,
from 2030 on?
correct. Yeah, currently they have a lease now. So this
Yeah.
amendment is keeping that price in place because they don't have to increase it. The initial lease will continue. There'll be I don't have the initial lease in front of me. This is an amendment to it. But then when 2030 on, it increases. There also is an escalation in the initial lease, which I don't think I have it in front of me,
Yeah,
but that's available
the initial lease continues with the escalation that was built in
every year.
the original lease.
They're paying $2,100 a month rent now, is that correct?
Correct.
And after 10 years, it will increase by 4%? Is that what I'm understanding?
No. The lease will increase by 4% every year from 2020
Every
to
year.
2030, and then it'll increase again. I'm just looking at the initial lease now. Yeah, it increases every year
Uh-huh.
on the additional years.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so anyone else that would like to speak, again, just comment in the comment box, your name and address, or use the raise your hand feature. Okay, we have Margaret Kunzio. Just enabling your video. And
I just wanted to say thank you to the board, and I wanted to point out a big thank you to Lori Smalley for coordinating the meals. Jerry Schulman, I know you were delivering groceries. Carl, I know you're working with the county very closely. And Tom and Danielle, I know everyone is working very hard. I wanted to just give a big shout out to our volunteer fire departments and ambulance corps who have diligently been working. I was able to secure 195 masks for the police department through the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center. I'm working on getting supplies for some of the volunteer fire departments and have been working closely as the Vice Chair of Public Safety with the fire departments and ambulance corps regarding COVID testing, et cetera. But I just wanted to say thank you. It is really great when people come together and working closely with the town to keep Mount Pleasant strong. And again, these are very unprecedented times, and I know we are working very hard, but just a thank you to everyone.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you. You're doing a great job, Margaret. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Keep up the great work, and I'll see you guys walking around in town.
We hope so.
Yep.
okay, at this time, any last takers for public comment? Okay, Mr. Supervisor, I don't have anybody else in the queue.
Thank you. Moving on from business on the floor, I would go on to our town clerk's agenda.
Town clerk's agenda, April 14th, 2020, town board meeting. Bid opening, mesh cover for leisure pool, public hearings, Annex 14 Sunset Drive into Mount Pleasant Sewer District, amend Town Ordinance 206-49, Schedule 15 Broad Street, and received supervisor and registrar's report for March 2020, and hope everybody stays safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Moving on to council reports. First one will be Councilman Schulman.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, Mount Pleasant. And it's my pleasure this evening to present the Comptroller's memo, which is resolution number 168-20 by department and vendor. So first is attorney, Harris Beach PLLC, $39,033.58. Engineer, Merits GIS Limited, $1,540. Building Town Hall Apple Maintenance Services, Inc., $5,050. Special Consulting Services, Historic Hudson River Towns, $3,000. Highway Garage, RJG Electrical Contracting LLC, $4,215. Off-street parking, New York State Department of Transportation, $2,690. Senior Citizens Community Service Program, Duchess Restaurant Equipment Company, Inc., $7,955. Home Delivered Meals, Title 3C2, EBP Supply Solutions and Nutrisystems Corporation, $6,467.62. Bradhurst Program Title 3C1, Nutrisystems Corporation, $840. Supplemental Nutrition Assist, EBP Supply Solutions, $691. Parks, Westwood Swimming, $600. Recreation Center, Healy Electric Contracting, Inc., $5,165. General repairs, Amazon Capital Service and Westwood Swimming, $4,312.29. Highway machinery, Cummings Power Systems LLC, Power Plan, $4,010. Highway garage roof repair, JT Roselle Lighting and Supply, Inc., $4,565. Capital Old Farm Hill Water, Westchester County Department of Health, $840. Kensico Capital Projects, Merits GIS Limited, $3,500. Pleasant Con Sewer District, Kinsley Power Systems and Power Plan, $14,749.36. Joint Water District Fund, Hawk Chemical Company, Power Plan. Make sure, I think I skipped the page. Hold on a second. $3,507.78. Pleasantville Road Water, Westchester County Department Labs Research, $40. Bear Ridge Lake Water District, Westchester County Department Labs Research, $690. Meadowbrook Water District, Westchester County Department Labs Research, $40. Old Farm Hill Water District, Westchester County Department Labs Research, $690. Mechanical Water District Number 1, DeBlock Environmental Services LLC, Aqua Smart Inc., PVS Mini Bulk Inc., Westchester County Department Labs Research. Total $194.15. Apple Hill Farm Water District, Westchester County Department Labs Research, $40. Pleasantville X Number 1 Water, Westchester County Department Labs Research, $40. Pleasant Ridge Water District, Westchester County Department Labs Research, $40. Mill River Road Water District, Westchester County Department Labs Research, $40. Kensico Water, DeBlock Environmental Services LLC, USA Blue Book, PVS Mini Bulk Inc., Shannon Chemical Corp., USA Blue Book, Westchester County Department Labs Research, total $42,288.78. Preston Agency Escrow, Harris Beach PLLC, Provident Design and Engineering PLLC, Harris Beach, again PLLC, total $13,350.50. And the grand total for this evening's comptroller's report is $186,185.06. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Mr. Showman,
Second.
second by Ms. Zano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, my second resolution this evening is number 169-20. This is an authorization to make a final lump sum payment to a Recreation Department employee. This lump sum payment amount is going to the employee Steve Mott in his retirement. And this is for monies based on contractual obligations in the area of accumulated sick time, comp time, and vacation pay for a grand total of $35,560.35. May move to approve, please.
Motion by Mr. Showman,
Second.
second by Ms. Smalley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Congratulations to Mr. Mott on his retirement as well. Job well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Siliano.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My report is from the police department. We only have one item for you for this evening. This is authorization for one of our detectives to attend the 2020 State of New York Police Juvenile Officers Association Annual Conference. The date of the conference is from August 30th to September 4th, 2020. Again, it's from one of our detectives, and the total cost is $1,063. And again, it's in our budget. I respectfully ask the board for a motion of approval for this resolution to send our officer for this training, please.
Motion
Second.
by Mr. Saliano,
Second.
second by Mr. Schulman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank
That's
you.
it. Stay safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilwoman Smalley.
Good evening. My report is from the Department of Parks and Recreation. The first item is memo number 19, authorization to hire John Petrozelli as provisional park superintendent effective April 15th, 2020. The salary is for the 2020 budget. Please note that Mr. Petrozelli is eligible to and will take the civil service exam for park superintendent once it is offered by Westchester County Civil Service. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The second item is memo number 20, Recreation and Parks. Hello?
Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Memo 20, authorization to hire Scott Naylor as park foreman effective April 15th, 2020, salary per CSEA contract. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Schulman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Councilwoman Zano, I do not believe you have anything on your agenda this evening.
I don't, but can I just thank our superhighway superintendent, Rich, and all of our guys out there for staying safe and healthy and keeping our roads clear, especially after yesterday's storm. You're doing a great job.
Definitely. Thank you. Town Attorney, I do not believe there's anything further on your agenda.
Nothing, Mr. Supervisor.
Moving forward, our scheduled meetings, next work session is Tuesday, April 21st at 7 p.m. A business session will be at April 28th at 8 p.m. And we do wish everybody safe, healthy. Stay home if you can, keep your distance, just stay healthy. That's what we're all about here at Mount Pleasant. Everybody here on this board is working very hard to do their part to keep our town safe. And if there's anything you need, if you reach out to us, we'll be there to help you.
Carl,
Yes.
Vanda, sorry. Did you just want to briefly mention about the census?
Oh, you're right. Yes. The other side of my brain told me to remind you about the 2020 census. They have extended the deadline to October, but there's options. You can do it by phone, you do it by mail, but it's very, very important for everyone to answer that census as soon as possible. We get updates periodically telling different areas how well they're doing as far as responding. And I think Mount Pleasant's got to kick it up a little bit and get those responses back. All this, the numbers are very important for the town of Mount Pleasant as it is for the county and the state. So we appreciate everybody getting those census counts in there as soon as possible. Thank you, Amanda. If there be no further business, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Saliano,
Second.
second by Ms. Zano. Thank you all, and thank you, the residents of the town of Mount Pleasant, for bearing with us on this new type of meetings. We appreciate your attention, and we appreciate you being here listening to us. and offering your comments. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank
Good
you.
evening.
Thank you, everyone. Be safe, be well.
Thank you.
Good
Yeah.
evening.
Yep.
Stay home if you can. Thank you very much. Good night now.